Mary Cooper has always been one of the most complicated characters in the Young Sheldon universe. On one hand, she is loving. She is protective. She is clearly trying to keep her family together after losing George. But on the other hand, Mary has always had this frustrating ability to act like the moral center of the universe while somehow missing the pain of the people standing right in front of her. And somehow, Georgie and Mandy's first marriage just made that even worse. Because Mary getting with Fred Fagenbacher is not just some random romantic subplot. It is not just Mary moving on. It is not just a lonely widow finding someone who makes her feel seen again. It is Mary choosing possibly the worst person she could have chosen and then acting surprised when Georgie has a problem with it. And that is where this whole thing becomes so frustrating. To be clear, Mary is allowed to move on. She is allowed to date. She is allowed to want companionship after George's death. Nobody is saying she has to stay alone forever just to preserve everyone else's feelings. But Fagenbacher specifically is the problem. Because to Georgie, Fred is not just some nice guy his mom met at church or the grocery store. He is tied directly into Georgie's world. He is connected to the business rivalry, the pressure, the competition, and the constant stress Georgie is already dealing with as a young husband, father, and provider. So when Mary starts getting close to him, it does not feel neutral. It feels personal. And the worst part is, Mary does not seem to fully understand that. That has always been one of Mary's biggest flaws. She can recognize pain when it fits into her idea of what pain should look like. But when someone reacts in a way she does not approve of, she treats it like disobedience, disrespect, or immaturity. That is exactly what happens with Georgie. From Mary's point of view, Georgie probably looks controlling. He looks childish. He looks like a son who cannot handle his mother having a life outside the family. And to be fair, Georgie does not handle the situation perfectly. He almost never does. Georgie is emotional, reactive, and sometimes way too intense when he feels like his family is being threatened. But the thing is, his feelings are not random. Georgie has spent years being forced into the role of the man of the house. After George died, Georgie did not really get the luxury of falling apart like a normal kid. He had a baby, he had a marriage, he had a job, he had bills. He had people depending on him. So when Mary brings Fagenbacher into the picture, Georgie is not just reacting as a jealous son. He's reacting as someone who already feels like he has been carrying too much, watching his mother invite one of his problems directly into the family. And Mary somehow does not see that. That is what makes this storyline so annoying but also kind of brilliant, because Mary's decision exposes the hypocrisy that has always been underneath her character. Mary is the kind of person who will talk endlessly about family, loyalty, morality, and doing the right thing. She has spent years judging other people's choices, especially her kids' choices, whenever they did not fit into her worldview. But the second Mary wants something, suddenly everyone else is supposed to be understanding. When her children make emotional decisions, it is a problem. When Mary makes one, it is supposed to be grace. That is the double standard. And again, that does not mean Mary is evil. Honestly, that would make her less interesting. Mary is not some cartoon villain trying to hurt Georgie. In her mind, she probably thinks she is finally doing something for herself. She probably feels like after years of grief, responsibility, loneliness, and judgment, she deserves a little happiness. And maybe she does. But deserving happiness does not mean your choices stop affecting other people. That is the part Mary seems to miss. Because Georgie is not just being dramatic. He is not reacting to some harmless stranger. He is reacting to the fact that his mother, the person who should understand his stress more than anyone, is now emotionally attached to someone who already represents conflict in his life. That is a betrayal, even if Mary does not mean it that way. And honestly, this is what makes Mary's character so tragic. She is not usually wrong because she does not care. She is wrong because she cares in a way that is narrow, stubborn, and often self-centered. She loves her family, but she also expects them to process everything the way she wants them to. She wants them to respect her feelings, but she does not always show the same patience for theirs. And that is exactly why this Foggenbacher storyline makes her look worse. Not because Mary is dating, not because Mary is moving on, not because Mary is supposed to stay frozen in grief forever. It makes her look worse because once again, she seems more concerned with defending her own choices than actually understanding why her child is hurt. That has always been one of the saddest things about Mary Cooper. She is so focused on being righteous that she sometimes forgets to be empathetic, and in this case, Georgie is the one paying for it, because Georgie's entire life has become a balancing act. He's trying to be a good husband to Mandy, a good father to Cece, a good businessman, a good son, and still somehow hold on to the Cooper family after George's death. So when Mary makes a choice that adds even more pressure to his life, and then acts like he is the unreasonable one for reacting badly, it feels like she is ignoring everything he has already sacrificed. And that is why this finale hits harder than it first appears. On the surface, it is a messy family drama about Mary and Foggenbacher. But underneath that, it is about Georgie realizing that even the people he is trying to protect are capable of making his life harder. And that is a brutal realization, because Georgie has always been one of the most emotionally generous characters in this universe. He is flawed, sure, but he steps up. He works, he provides, he tries. Even when he complains, he still shows up. Mary, meanwhile, often demands grace from people she has not always given grace to herself. And that is why this storyline makes her worse. It does not destroy her character, it does not make her irredeemable. But it does reveal something ugly that has always been there. Mary Cooper wants to be understood, but she is not always willing to understand. And with Foggenbacher, that flaw becomes impossible to ignore. Because the question is not whether Mary deserves to be happy. The question is why her happiness has to come with Georgie being told to swallow his pain, ignore his instincts, and accept that his mother has chosen someone who makes his already stressful life even more complicated. That is what makes this so frustrating. Mary does not get worse because she falls for someone. She gets worse because she proves once again that when her feelings are on the line, everyone else's feelings become an inconvenience. And for a character who talks so much about family, that might be her biggest flaw.